Thank you for joining us to celebrate 75 years of forestry and wildlife sciences at Auburn University. To mark this monumental occasion, we invite you on a journey through time to witness the significant milestones that created the College of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences, a flagship institution for natural resource programs in the state of Alabama and beyond.
With abundant forest resources, stretching from the vast hardwood forests in the north to fire-driven longleaf pine savannas in the south, Alabama has a rich history of forestry and forest management dating back to the 1800s. Our nation has relied upon Alabama forests to supply the timber and other forest products to fuel its growth throughout our country's history. The Agricultural and Mechanical College of Alabama, now Auburn University, began teaching courses in forestry as early as 1896. However, it wasn't until 1946 that forestry became a standalone program in the Department of Horticulture and Forestry within the School of Agriculture, and would soon thereafter become the Department of Forestry in 1947. In response to the growing demand for trained professionals to manage forests, coupled with a greater need for a science-based foundation in forest management, the Department of Forestry continued to evolve over the next 3 decades, and with the support of the Alabama Forestry Association, became the School of Forestry in 1984. Dr. Emmett Thompson, department head at the time, shares how this change unfolded.
A fellow named Bob Lee, who was the woodlands manager for Union Camp in Alabama, became president of the Forestry Association. And he grabbed the executive director of the association, and they visited at that time interim president of the university, and they visited board members, and it didn't take long before the board appointed a committee to look into it and voted to have a school. But it was a long process. It was all worth it, though. It was all worth it.
During this period, Solon and Martha Dixon donated 5,300 acres of timberland and the Dixon Homestead to establish the Solon-Dixon Forestry Education Center in Andalusia, Alabama. After Solon passed, Martha Dixon continued to support the center through the Solon and Martha Dixon Foundation to create the administrative and recreational buildings. With these new facilities, the Dixon Center became the home of the school's forestry summer practicum and the gemstone of Auburn's forestry program.
It is, without a doubt, the best facility in the country for on-the-ground education in forestry and natural resources. I mean, there's other universities that have property and have buildings and everything, but I can't think of one that has what we have, as many acres, as quality of facilities, and within really 50 miles of every major type of forestry activity that you'd find in the Southeast.
In 1999, the school changed again by adding several wildlife faculty from the Department of Zoology, and in that same year became the School of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences. Dr. Richard Brinker, dean at the time, explains the impact of this merger for faculty, students, and industry.
That was real important, I think, to many of our friends, alumni, and supporters, because foresters manage the habitat and the wildlife biologists manage the wildlife. And if we could get those two professions communicating better and working as students over a long period of time, we'll have a better capability to manage the resource.
With a steadily increasing number of faculty and students, groundbreaking for the state-of-the-art Forestry and Wildlife Sciences building happened in 2002. Dr. Richard Brinker navigated the school through the building project and remembers.
We had, I think, between 25 and 30 individual donors who made significant contributions to make the building possible. So the fundraising was important because it allowed us to get all of the facilities that the faculty said they needed for a lab or for a teaching or for their extension outreach program. So we were quite pleased with the fact that we were able to accomplish that.
Other expansions followed, with the completion of the Solon and Martha Dixon Foundation Learning Center in 2012. The 6,500 square foot building, featuring an auditorium and classroom, was constructed at the Dixon Center to enhance the school's ability to offer modern training and conference space for natural resources groups, including the forestry and newly established wildlife summer practicums. Then Dean Dr. James Shepard oversaw the fundraising campaign and construction.
It was a very effective team that came together and built the building. But in terms of donors, yeah, the Dixon Foundation, I can't really say enough about them, because if they had not made that initial gift of 60% of the funding toward the building, we really probably wouldn't have even started without that major initial gift. And then as we started the campaign, Charlie Tarver came forward and made a substantial donation. And in fact, we worked with him, and he wanted to name the 100-seat classroom in the building the Johnson Gearstead Auditorium, named after two of really the founders and really influential people in the center.
Since that time, the School of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences has experienced substantial growth, not only in terms of the number of students, staff, and faculty, but also in the diverse array of new majors and professional degrees it has established to meet the emerging needs of industry and government. Current Dean, Dr. Yannicki Alavapati, shares his strategic vision for creating these programs and leading the school forward to become the College of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences.
When I became dean, we set 3 goals to move the school forward. 1, grow the school in size and excellence. 2, become the go-to place for forestry, wildlife, and environmental programs in the Southeast. 3, ensure our workplace is collegial, inclusive, and respectful. So far, we have made great progress by building new partnerships, by launching a series of new initiatives, and by earning the college status. There is a lot more to be done, but our faculty, staff, alumni, and stakeholders are ready to roll.
During its 75-year history, Auburn's forestry and wildlife programs have produced thousands of well-qualified graduates, imparted science-based solutions to improve the quality of life of citizens and the environment, and addressed our most complex natural resource challenges to create a sustainable future for society. Today, the College of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences continues forward as a top destination for forestry, wildlife, and environmental programs in the state of Alabama and beyond.